Welcome to another episode of Angels, Positivity and Love. Absolutely incredible experts the world over with amazing insights. They've all been on some sort of a transformative journey. They're on a unique life path like all of us. But for their journeys, they've decided to help or give service to others. Today, no exception, coming to us from Perth in Western Australia, we have Kaki Lee, and she's incredible. She's got a great flow to her. You're going to figure this out very quickly. She knows herself and she's in the business of helping others with their business, with their own spirituality, I'll add. She's an author and much more. I'd like to welcome Kaki to the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, how did you know you had some hidden talents, that you had an amazing flow to you? Basically, you're like a Jedi. I don't know if you tell people that, but you got some moxie. And when did you know you had something special? And when did you start actually using it? A lot of us run away for a lot of years. It can be a while before you polish the diamond. What happened? When did it happen?
I didn't know until 2020 was when it all came up to the surface. And obviously at that point, I was running away from it. I was going, what is happening? This is weird. Am I going crazy? But, the universe is very kind. It sends you the right people at the right time. So at that time, I was doing a life coaching certification. And I was also at the same time, I was starting to connect with spirit. And every single person that I swapped sessions with happened to, be spiritual and they understood where I was. So it was just amazing to go, okay, you're not crazy. And these gifts are just coming up. And so from 2020 to now, I mean, as you know, it's an ongoing process. You always have, sometimes a seed of doubt, but it's just really coming back to yourself and remembering that you're amazing, that you need to keep going on this path because it's so easy to just run away and hide.
How about three words to describe yourself? That you got to be bold and complimentary. I'll help you. I'm going to take away one of the potential words, tons of courage. And I made up multiple words, but courage, fierce. That's the second word. Now, you want to jump in before I take up the whole dictionary here. Give us a couple adjectives that describe you. Laser like focused.
Eclectic. Mm, yeah. Oh,
And
am I supposed to do more?
two more.
Eclectic, wise. I know that's a bit more vanilla than the ones that you gave me. Um, you kind of said all the ones that I was going to say. Now I need to struggle to find another word.
Flexible,
Quir
fluid. Yeah.
Yep, quirky.
Yeah. Adaptable. How about that? Okay. Now, what did you learn from 2020 to now? Because some people told you some stuff about your background. Was it past lives? Was it other? How much have you bought into that versus you're just letting everything be and flow? Where are you on that curve of who you are?
I'm just letting it be and flow. It's a constant unfolding. And I fight it. Oh, I fight it so much. But I've learned that the more I fight it, the more it comes back and whacks me in the face. So it's been a long journey of learning to let go of control. I've been a control freak all my life, and it is hard to let go of control. I mean, I still have those tendencies. They never go away, but is recognizing it when it happens. So for me now, it's very much okay. I get something come in. Hmm, is this where I'm gonna go? And then it's really tuning in to see if I should or shouldn't move forward. Saying that there's never a wrong path. It's just a scenic route.
And can you describe just some of the terminology you've adopted? I'll throw out two phrases that I think are sort of safe: compassion, unconditional love. But can you talk just about a few of the way you view the universe that's important for you right now at this point in your journey?
Yeah. Growing up, um, I was brought up to be a bit judgmental, and look down on people. Not like I don't do it, but there's always that judgment. I think everyone has judgment. That's just how we are. But what I've learned is that we're all here for a specific purpose. And it is really, I'm not anyone to be able to judge. Yes, I might have my views and opinions, but they're, everyone has their own journey that they're going through. So what I've learned is I can not like something, but still have compassion for it and still send someone unconditional love, even if I might not agree.
I love it. Okay, and
Mm.
talk to us today. Where are you today for your various projects? Because you've got a few different sticks in the fire, as they say.
Yeah, so when I say eclectic, I do mean like I somehow just do random stuff, but they all kind of flow in together. So right now I am teaching people how to share trade on the stock market. And I bring in the energetics and the mindset work into it as well, which is something very special because I don't think anyone really tells you how important your energy and your mindset are. But it makes total sense, especially if you're on the spiritual path, personal development path, you know how important those two things are. And when you combine that with actually a strategy, then it can really accelerate your success. And the other thing I do is I'm a book publisher. So right now I'm working with someone to help them publish a book. I'm not in the phase of wanting to release another book at the moment, but I do book publishing. And I did have a podcast. So actually, when I spoke to you last time, Michael, I was still doing my podcast, but I got the big loud voice to tell me to stop. So I have just stopped my podcast. I had to cancel my guests that were booked up to April next year. But yeah, I'm just following my guidance.
And that podcast, you're the show host of the Awakened Feminine podcast, but you
Yeah.
were the show host. Does that mean though there's a chance there'll be future podcasts down the road? You'll be able to get some of those guests back on, but you'll have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yes. There will be some guests coming back on that fit. I know there is a podcast coming back. I guess it's more like a rebranding, but right now it's taking a step back from it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's okay. It's a bold decision though. Okay, talk to us about the spiritual journey just a little bit. Anything in the middle of the night you woke up, it was a dream, it was a lucid dream, it was actually there in the room with you, or just walking down the street daytime, a voice, or the coffee shop, or nature. You're out on a walk, you're sitting there. What are some epiphanies, serendipities, or synchronicities that have happened?
Hmm. I don't get the visuals, so I'm a clairaudience. Uh, I'll tell you my experience the first time that I connected because it was for me quite scary because I was like, what the hell's going on? I remember reading Gabrielle Bernstein's book, Super Attractor, and it said one of the exercises was, oh, if you want to connect with your guardian angel, then, do some automatic writing. So I'm like, okay, follow the exercise, just expecting to do a normal journaling session. And I could not control my hands. And the voice was coming, but my hands obviously couldn't write as quickly. So I was just scribbling and I wasn't like my body was not under my control. I could hear this voice giving me messages, telling me what I'm here to do, and I'm just like scribbling, shaking while I'm scribbling. So that was my first encounter, I guess, with spirit, my connection with spirit, and from then that's how things have progressed. Right now, or I'll tell you something that happened. Oh, a couple of really cool things have happened in the last week, actually. So I'll share those experiences. Um, this happened on Thursday, my time, and I'm working with my spiritual mentor, and she started going, okay, let's ask who your master guide is. I'm like, okay. So this is my next level of spiritual upgrade. So I was like, okay. So I closed my eyes and I got the name. And then my teacher kept going, okay, ask this question, and just give me the answer. And so I'm like, okay, get the answers. And she's like, so she's going, okay, everything you've given me is correct. But as I had my eyes closed, this has never happened before. It was this bright, intense light that my eyes were closed, but you could just feel this like bright, intense light. So I knew that I was connected and actually getting answers from spirit. And it was just so beautiful. And after our session, we were about to go. And then on her screen, there was this, I can't even describe it. This, her screen kind of got foggy, but it was like this beautiful fractal of light. It's not like how the sun comes in, it's completely different. And I'm going, can you see that on your screen? And she goes, yeah, I can see it. And she was like, no, there's no light coming in. So she's like, okay, let me check. And it was one of my guides that wanted to come through. And so she channeled my guide to give me a message. And then after that, um, she left. But it's, you know, the car key before would have gone, I am just going completely nuts, put me in a mental asylum. But now it's just always this, I'm just always in awe of these magical moments. Yeah.
And that was one thing this week. You had two.
Oh, yes. Oh, the other thing is my girlfriend gave me a healing session, and I've always had this neck and shoulder pain just at the base of my neck. And when she was doing the healing session, she got that, I had a lot of shame and guilt, which I carry from my past life. So she saw me sitting in a town square and people were throwing things at me. So then she asked, she was getting messages like, okay, you're in a past life, you had a child out of wedlock. So I'm like, okay, so she cleared that. Then she got to my neck and it was, I had a child out of wedlock. Sorry, my voice, because my father back then, this was in the 18th century, raped me and I was a nun. So there was a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, and I made a vow of silence not to expose my dad either back then. So it was this, she's like, I just see this big wall, concrete wall of boulders. So um, she was doing a practice session. So her mentor was on the screen and going, okay, call in the big guns. So she called in Jesus, called in Mother Mary, called in like a whole lot of, big guns to come move those boulders. So she moved it, and then my friend was like, "Okay, I think we're good." So her teacher told me to sit up. I sat up, and I'm like, I still feel like there's something like it's better, but they're still there. So her teacher kind of stepped in. She's like, "Okay, I need to help you with this clearing." So lay back down. She's like, "I'm gonna put." This is on Zoom, by the way. So she's like, "I'm gonna put my hand on your forehead." I'm like, "Okay." And I could just feel this intense heat on my forehead. I started like shaking and just releasing, letting go. And then she's like, okay, we're done. So I sat up. She's like, how does it feel? I'm like, it's completely gone. That was on Tuesday. It's Saturday today. It's still gone. I've never had that pain go away. I've been to physios, been to like multiple things. It's always just, after massage, it feels better, but it's never gone. So that's how miraculous it is. And she told me something which I think you will appreciate. So from that lifetime, I had that vow of silence. I was carrying the shame and guilt. But my dad from that lifetime was on my shoulders and my neck because he felt guilty. And so she had to basically send him back to the light.
Mm.
So he's gone, the shame and guilt are gone, and I feel fabulous.
I'm going to give you a
And
hint of a question that's coming up, but not yet. It's going to be what is your true purpose or your unique life path ahead, but we're not getting there just yet. I got to be a geek and mention something. I only do this like once out of 15 or 20 shows, but we've had Balls of Light goes shooting up, or South Africans for some reason are the lucky ones. We've had a South African in France, a South African in Germany. The German one, you can see it. I throw it all over my shorts on YouTube, but you can see the ball light go up like this. For the one in France, she's got like, I think 1.3 million audience on TikTok. Heather, an angel, flew by this way. I just saw a little ball light go like this, but unfortunately it's not on camera, so don't count it audience. But this is the moment to like, comment, share, subscribe, and put a couple of emojis down for support for our beautiful guest, or what she's already talked about that's resonated, or can you complement her energy? Because this is a 1+1 = 11 setup. She's not going to admit it as much, but she's seeing it and she's feeling it and she's sharing it. But there's a lot of flow going through her, which is what I've said from the beginning of this show. So we're going back to you, Kaki. Go back, if you could, to just either childhood, high school, uni. Did you have anything pop up, though, that you completely brushed away? I'll give you an example. Backgammon at boarding school, I would call doubles before I threw them, and I could do it multiple times. That doesn't count as anything spiritual necessarily, but it was quirky, and I was always doing little things like that. You didn't have any serendipity, synchronicity sort of moment, anything where you brushed it off and buried it?
Not that I can remember, but I do, like, looking back, when I ask for something or say something, somehow it would end up coming true. Yeah. Or I just know someone, um, yeah, know what they're thinking or what they're like, even though I might not know them very well. So those were the things, but I just thought it was normal for people. But that's probably it. Yeah, nothing else that I can remember.
And going down the little checklist, not that there's any checklists at all, but auras, have you accidentally seen them once a decade? Is it twice? The light on people, others, are you seeing it more frequently? Not at all yet. You're more feeling everything.
I feel and I hear. So right now I don't see anything yet. I get flashes of images sometimes, but that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to go out of order on something. I'll put my hands up against this background. It's Celestine Prophecy, the movie, but a guest who was very much alive and thriving in the 70s said, nah, we were doing this back in the 70s before that movie existed. But I'll throw that under the bus because in India, they do it this way. I'm going to be standing and telling a dad joke, so this way's a little awkward. It all is the same. You'll see a filament of light between my fingers. It'll be white, yellow, gold, green. If it's rainbow color, everybody hit pause and run out the door and buy a lotto ticket. You're on fire. Okay, not literally. Here's the dad joke ahead of time, and I might do Yoda's voice to make you laugh. First, the dad joke. Why did the rabbit fall down that well? He didn't see that well. Okay, and when you're laughing, you're letting go. You can't have a higher form of letting go short of breathing or smiling. You're doing both. Okay, here we go. And just see a little filament of light. What color do you see between my fingers?
I'm not seeing any colors.
Here we go. Okay, rub your hands in a circle for me. Just do a circle. Don't make a fire. Yep, circle, not like this. And then breathe extra. Exhale like a whale if you think this is a hard thing to do or anything like that. And then drop your hands when you're ready. You're getting Yoda's voice. That'll make you laugh and let go. One more time. No pressure. Do not. There is no try. And breathe through your mouth. No try Yoda. Just you're seeing with your heart. You're doing the Zen thing, seeing without seeing. A little anything, a little wispy light between my fingertips.
Yeah, it's white.
White is good. By the way, congratulations. You've got a pulse. I've got a pulse. White's all the colors combined on the whole Hindu chakras. I get everything wrong. But yeah,
Yeah.
the Hindu chakras, white, and then rainbow light, then kind of clear. I'd argue that's like a Christ consciousness. There's other ways to say it, the diamond light and stuff like that. Go to the experts for that. You did it. Pat yourself on the shoulder. But now, drum roll, which we don't have one of those sound effect machines. This is going to change. It's going to change next year, and you're going to look back at this answer and be like, wow, what was I thinking in 2024? But what's your unique life purpose that you think? And I'm going the big picture one, spiritual one. What did you hear or write down that day that you can share? You can, edit it a little bit if you want.
Mm. The day that I connected with spirit, I remember hearing the term earth angel, and I had never heard of that before. So for me now, like it's kind of changed since then, but I really feel that my purpose here is to help people create wealth. And I'm not talking about money wealth, I'm talking about inner wealth. So it's very much about helping them let go of their ego so that they can actually start listening to their soul and move forward in their lives, like on their actual life path instead of their ego life path. Yeah.
Beautiful. And
Mm.
positivity is abundance, but there's a lot of other stuff involved to get them up and running, get them into the vehicle
Yes.
and actually starting the engine so they can drive. I like
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us more
About.
about what you're doing for folks or what you've discovered. What have you had to let go of in the last 2 years that you were kind of holding on to? Were you using the old business principles still, and you've had to just let them go and let the universe step in and do most of the heavy lifting?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I've got so many examples.
a few.
Yeah. So I've always been a very type A, overachiever, overgiver, very masculine, like, driven kind of person. And going into business in 2020 required me to really let go of that really masculine drive, that checklist person, that structure person. Because what I discovered was when I did that, nothing worked. Nothing worked. And I'm going, why is this not working? Because that's how I've always worked. How I achieved my pharmacy career, how I got to being a chief pharmacist in the hospital, it required me to work very hard. And it just didn't make sense when the first time I launched my share trading program, I was like, initially I was putting things out. I'm like, okay, no one cares. That's all right. So I was guided to just I took a month off. I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to take a month off. Like, this is whatever. I'm just going to spend time playing with my kids. And about a week in, people started going, Kaki, when are you launching your program? When are you starting your program? I'm going, okay. So then I was like, okay, well, I need to launch my program. So that's one example. Another example was when I was creating my book, The Awakened Feminine. And initially I had a few people come in, and then there was just this route. And I'm like, okay, I can't seem to, people are not finding me, or people are not resonating. I was going, but I know this book because the book was, the title came through to me. So I'm like, I know it has to be done. So again, I got guided. I'm like, you know what? I just need to take time off. Just need to stop hustling because I was um learning at that time from a publisher, and she's like, okay, you need to like go and talk to like 10 people each day, put a million posts up, and all the things. And I should have listened to my own operating system, which knew it was pretty much step back and let people come to you. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take a month off. Came back and I went, I'm just going to do this trust experiment. And one day, so every morning I would ask, okay, what's the most fun way for me to attract, authors into my book? And one morning I got sew. I'm like sewing, so I went out and bought a whole lot of sewing kits, cross stitching, embroidery, you name it. So I spent the whole day sewing. I'm like, this is like the craziest thing. I should be doing something. Should I not be putting stuff on social media, whatever. And then that night, I kid you not, I had someone go, I'm answering your call. I want to find out more about your book. You can't make this stuff up. Like, you really can't. And then, anyway, after that, the people started flowing in again. It was a connection of a connection, or someone that I didn't even know saw a reel that I put up and go, oh, I'm in. And it was just easy. There was no selling. People just knew they were coming in. It was just easy. Things just flow. And even now, with me relaunching my program, we're starting on the 8th of August. I mean, I know this will come out a lot later than the recording, but it was very much, this has been the easiest launch I've ever done in that I haven't done a sales call, haven't had to do any of that. I put it out there, whatever, no expectations, and people just signed up. Cool. Thank you. That's what happens when you just let go of expectations and just flow and just go with the flow. There's not putting the pressure on, because I always was someone that put pressure on. Everything had to be done a certain way, had to be perfect, all those things. But when you let go of that pressure, that's when the flow comes in.
You have three books. The Awakened Feminine is one. Badass Asian Women, you co-authored a few here. Badass Asian Women. Why don't you describe that one? There's a rest of the title to it as well, but it's some kick-ass individuals who have, struck out on their own. But what's the rest of that book about?
Yeah, so it's Badass Asian Women Define the Expectations of Family, Culture, and Society. And that title came to me when I was actually getting the authors together for The Awakened Feminine. And I'm going, nope, nope. And it kept coming. And that actually was what set me to start my own publishing company. Because when I eventually did say yes, like 3 months later, it's like, this has to come from your own publishing company. So that's why I started my own publishing company. So yeah, it's been a wild ride, especially these last 2 years.
And you're one of the authors of Prosperity Codes.
Yes.
What's that about?
Pros- Prosperity codes is around money, well, wealth, but I guess more around your inner wealth. But for my chapter, I talked about our my association with money and my self-worth, because that's something else I had to let go of during these, especially these last 2 years, where I've been someone that's been very lucky, very fortunate, never had to worry about money. Money just comes. And then in these last 2 years, it was just like, what is happening? Like, just left, right, center, money was just flowing out, but it wasn't coming back in. And it was really much a lesson of not taking things for granted, because obviously, because money came to me very easily, I was taking it for granted, but also not tying my self-worth, because when things started going south, it was it wasn't even the money I was worried about. It was like, I was like, oh my God, I'm a bad person. I'm like, who the hell am I to teach about money if I can't even sort my own stuff out? All those things. But really, it had nothing to do with money. It was about my self worth.
So the universe was stepping in with a pretty big lesson, and you being pulled
Oh,
away from a dance or a correlation with money was a really healthy thing.
yes. Yeah,
Okay, tell
definitely.
us a little bit more though. Was there times you were hitting the pillow going, why? Why?
Oh, that happens all the time when things happen. If, I don't know, like for me, I think it's healthy to go, why? Like, curse words, whatever. You need to get it out, I think. And when you look at your situation, it's it's not great. It's terrible. So I think it's okay to let those emotions out, but then it's just kind of coming back to go, okay, what's happening here? I think for me, that was being on the spiritual path has been so helpful in that manner, in that I'll be, doing all things, cursing and like going, why? What is happening? This is terrible. I hate my life. But then going, all right, what's happening here? What do I need to look at? And then, discovering, okay, because I tie my self worth to my money. Okay. Or it was also like, it was like uh, an energetic purge as well of all the old ways. Yeah.
Yeah, that energy had the driver's seat, at least for one of the vehicles in the fleet. But if we were to go back to all the financial centers of the world, London, New York. I had my Series 7 and 63 at one point, Paris, um, Sydney, Melbourne. Uh, from that viewpoint, that Sherlock Holmes looking glass, magnifying glass, it would still be correct to be like, whoa, that was a bad period for business. And any business running their business that way the money wasn't coming in,
Mm.
something's wrong. And yet it's okay. You're looking back and saying you wouldn't change a thing.
No, I wouldn't change a thing.
So tell us one more time, but in a different way. You're going to have to do this a lot in the future. This is that universal knowledge, the universal knowing, that faith that's religious or not religious, that's getting out of here to get to here. That's trusting more and allowing more with a capital A for allowing. Tell us one different way what it is you learned again and that you're not tied to the value of money. And now doesn't mean you're not going to bring it in like a complete monsoon and for other people. But what did you learn again?
I learned to trust and surrender and let go of control. That those were the major things. Yeah.
Incredible. I love this. Okay. Who were you reading along the way? Did you grab any of the classic authors, Eckhart Tolle, Don Miguel Ruiz, Gary Zukav, movies, anything like that? Were you shaking psychics by the lapel at the beginning and saying, what's happening to me? I need answers now. Stat.
Uh, Actually, during that period, I did have psychic readings, but it was more not really looking at what happened because I was carrying a lot of shame and guilt. So I didn't even want to mention it to anyone at that time. But it was kind of always coming back to what is my life purpose. So there was a lot of readings and healing sessions around that. In terms of reading, I got into the Sophia Code, Kaira. I'm just looking at my bookshelf. Gabrielle Bernstein has been a big one. Eckhart Tolle, I've got the book. For some reason, it just hasn't called out to me. And I tried listening to the audiobook and it just, yeah, it it just would not speak to me, even though I know, everyone tells me it's such a great book. But I find for me, whilst I love reading, I tend to like to then more go within. So yeah, there's not really probably for me, Gabrielle Bernstein and the Sophia Code. Um, and there's a few books around Taoism that I read that have been really good. But yeah, they're probably the ones, but mostly for me, Gabrielle Bernstein has been a huge help on my journey. Just somehow it resonates a lot for me. Yeah.
For the audience, anyone having trouble sleeping, put A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle on your nightstand. You can totally blow it off. Let it sit for months. But if you decide you're having trouble falling asleep at night, get the nightlight, the book reading lamp. Just do 2 paragraphs. Trust me, your ego is going to decide. It has to make a decision. It's 50-50. Either your ego is going to let you read the book, which is kind of like angel writing or something, but it can feel really dry and painful, or you're going to be allowed to fall asleep like that. There are people who 4 lines in, they're out. And so you could be like the most insomniac person on the planet, and those books are your secret weapon for having a great night's sleep. Um, okay, talk to us about what language did you discover at the beginning of this journey? We'll say 2020 that you're not using anymore. Has it shifted? Is it more the divine feminine now? Is it more universal love, universal knowing? Was there anything that you adopted at the beginning that you've already let go of as you moved along?
Yeah. Funnily enough, I've always spoken Kaki language, so which is how I speak now. I adopted, certain phrases like ascension, that kind of, but nothing really, I would say, quote unquote, spiritual. Um, because I felt like I wasn't spiritual enough. It's quite an interesting thought, I think, because I've got mentors who like at that time at the beginning was like, very spiritual and they're in their flowy dresses and they speak all the language. And I'm going, I don't know what they're talking about, but okay, that it sounds really cool. Um, so for me, my spiritual journey has been like I'm trying to like talk in normal people's language without all the spiritual language that comes about. Um, and I think most people, if you just look at me and what I do, wouldn't really even pick up that I'm, quite connected. Um, yeah, so I haven't really adopted any language. I do now seem to have a little bit of an allergy to some of the very spiritual terms out there. No, no, like, disrespect to anyone. You do whatever you want, you speak whatever language. But I'm just like, I just need to connect more with people on a everyday level. Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's
word
that's me.
ascension, I'm still working out the definition of that 13 years later. But I'm slow. Anyone knows it takes me 2 years to do something that people do like that. Speaking of which, we might take a few steps, but in taking those steps, we've already done a few. In taking those steps, I can put up like an angel photo and they'll give you the next talking point or reminder of something that you just know blindfolded, that you're like, oh yeah, we didn't talk about this, and you're ready to talk about this. But first, some sage. It's a staple on the show. Hopefully, I grab the right lighter and I'm not clicking 6 times in a row to light some sage. There's a red-tailed hawk feather. You're in Perth, Western Australia. Yay. Um, is it the Margaret River that's south of Perth? I got
Yes,
it. Yes, beautiful, beautiful
my
area.
favorite place. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a surf contest. I'm forgetting what the world WSL World Surf League. I'm totally blanking on everything.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do
yeah.
they do
I just
surfing competitions down there. It's
yeah,
such a beautiful area.
yay.
The energy there.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna light some sage, but you're gonna catch it in Australia from where am I? Texas in the United States, but it could be 2030 or in Germany or New Zealand. It doesn't matter where you are. Time and space isn't what you think it is. What will you allow for daily? Right now, let some sage come through. Ask angels of the universe to make it super nice. And yes, good. Flame, not gas, coming out of this, so there's no explosion. We've never had that happen before. Okay, I got some flame, I got some smoke. This is sage, but why settle for tiramisu, just normal tiramisu, no calories? Go sage, flowers, and if you want to catch exotic, Fiji, Bora Bora, not boring, Tahiti, Bali, catch extra ocean, even catch the ocean waves. Unofficially open your mouth and breathe like a volume going up on a stereo. No Triota, but I don't have to do his voice again. Yay. And allow. Kaki, are you getting the sage A-OK?
Yeah.
And then what flowers are you getting?
I'm getting lavender.
Yay. And then lastly, if you want an ocean thing, you can see a whole beach. Like, even if it's Hawaiian, it's more sloped for the beach. It can be much more flat and whiter sands than you remember. Whatever we're talking about, breathe, breathe, breathe. And you can even see a figure all the way down at the end of the beach. It could be a past pet. It could be Jesus, Mary, Muhammad, Buddha, Kuan Yin, but dressed to surf. And you just know it's her because her radiant smile. It could be Buddha. And I'll do a Joshu quote to distract the ego, the psyche, the thinking that we all have. The student comes running up to the master and says, what about it when I seek to be Buddha? The teacher's like, what a tremendous waste of energy. And then the student, quick as a whip, because he's not quitting this course anytime soon, says, well, what about it when I don't waste energy? And the teacher says, in that case, you are Buddha. Okay. Are you getting to see the strip of sand and the ocean, the whole, it's like a men's deodorant commercial with the white stallion, but without the dude. And you get
Oh,
the
why not the
ocean.
dude? Come on.
Oh, you can have the dude. Actually, yeah, you can have the dude too. Don't tell anybody at home. But the bottom line is, who is way down the beach waving? It could be Joy if she's wearing like a pink bikini waving high, blonde, although she could be a brunette. That could be Joy, and she's got the surf rag shirt on and stuff like that.
Oh,
You seeing someone all the
it's
way down?
yeah.
Cool. And if you have a passed over pet, that's cool to see. You're not going to get emotional too much. Have that pet jumping up and down, saying hi, and you can hear third form, third grade level, you know, hello, 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 except I don't know how your dog talks to you or your pet. It'd be like, mommy, mommy, hi, I'm here. And when you're ready, come back. I will put up an angel photo for you for a more serious topic, but enjoy what you're enjoying right now too. And I'll remind folks of something. You've already got all the skills within. You simply have to get out of your own way, out of your head, into your heart, which is like already connected to everything. And you've just got this incredible flowing energy. Exhibit A, hint, our guest on the show today. Okay, here's Joy. What does she say about the last minute and a half?
Hmm.
And if you don't mind sharing this one out loud.
Last minute and a half of us
Of
talking.
you, yep. And you were taking a bunch of steps. So I think she's got something complimentary to say. What are you hearing from Joy? I'm hearing like bravo.
Yeah. She's just like really happy that I'm sharing, that I'm actually sharing.
You didn't keep it locked up. Yeah, exactly. And then if you don't mind, could you privately get another personal, like, it's a self-help book for us all, daily reminders, but it's not now. It's not even necessarily next year. And you're not sharing anything about it. Just say, got it. Close your eyes and have her show you a cover. It's all your personal cucky isms, but meant to help others expand and open.
Yeah.
Cool. As they say in America, cool beans. Okay, now we got to get serious about the interview. What's one topic she knows you can run with and just hear a couple of keywords and you're like, oh yeah, no, I was just saying this like 2 Tuesdays ago.
Hmm.
Got it?
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Okay, what are you talking about?
Talking about people in your life as you go on this path. Yeah. So I think what I've noticed, and I know a lot of people who decide to go on their own spiritual or personal development journey, even, is as you go through your journey, you'll find that the people that have been in your life all this time, some of them are not meant to stay with you. And it can be quite devastating when it happens because they might be your childhood best friend that you've been friends with for like 30 years, or, even family members that just the vibe's just not there anymore. And it is very hard. I think for women, especially, I mean, my husband's like really good at just letting things go. But for women, we just have this loyalty bonds, and sister wounds, even like, where we we have we just feel like we're obliged to be with those people. But I want to tell you that is okay. You're not, if you're not vibing with someone, it's not that, you're better than them or they're less worthy, but it's just that right now, at this moment, you guys are just not meant to be. And unless something really bad happened, then okay, maybe you just needed to just go your separate ways. But sometimes people just fall away. You try and catch up, but for some reason, they will get sick at the last minute. And you're like, what's going on? Every single time, without fail, it happens. It really does happen. And you go, okay, I know why this is happening. I'm not meant to see them. And sometimes, like those people, maybe you had a disagreement, but you're not holding on to it so that you go, oh, I'm never talking to them again. It's allowing yourself to go, right now, we're not meant to be in each other's lives. If things happen and we vibe again, that's okay. It's just open to the possibilities and the opportunities that come your way with people. And you'll also find that as you change, the people around you change, you'll have lots of new friends that actually vibe and understand you. They just get you. And it's at such a deeper level than actually the people that you met in childhood, because you're at that point where you know yourself. And those people also just seem to know you. It's like you've known them from other lifetimes. And you just vibe, and it's like really strange. You just get on straight away. Whereas before you might meet friends and it's a little, you're a little bit awkward, like, hey, how are you? Who are you? But these new people, you just go, wow, like, do I know you from somewhere? So it's just that I think that's really important for people to remember. um, it can be upsetting, and that's okay, but just to not not get stuck and be pulled down by, energies that you might not vibe with you anymore.
I think that was really well said. I can relate to all of that in so many different ways. And I've got another angel for you. Get something private, get a compliment when say you got it when you got it, and then we'll do a formal next topic. This is Charlotte, everybody's favorite teacher from third form, third grade. Mrs. Wilson, not Mrs. Johansson, who got you in trouble all the time. A nice angel. And she's here with words meant to help you expand. Did you get your compliment? Get your personal
Yeah.
commentary? Okay. What's the time? And Charlotte might have been Nefertiti in ancient Egypt and brought compassion to the Egyptians. That's a lot for people to maybe allow for. But I'll say it because when you close your eyes and have an interdimensional experience, it's better than a lucid dream. She is Nefertiti. So we'll leave it at that. Catch what you can catch. Catch in ancient Egypt incense in the air. And I didn't light anything. I didn't do it. We're blaming angels, not Canada. Did you get your incense?
Yeah, I got it before you said to catch your incense.
I love it. This is so cool. Okay, but what's this? We're getting all serious now, but I don't mean like the fact that this angel's from Sirius originally, origin story. She's an angel now. I mean serious, like not so serious, but what's the topic we're going to cover?
Hmm.
And she'll be blue light on your eyelids just so you can't completely escape. Divine feminine, entrepreneurship, how it's all connected, what you do in your heart is all that matters.
Let's talk about control.
We'll grab our
We're
water for this
going we're
one.
going all in today. Control. Yeah. So I've mentioned this before. I mentioned this and you
This is
heard
a
it
health.
throughout my story.
This is
Yeah.
a healthy exchange today. Woo.
Yeah. Um, I've always been someone like, that has put a lot of emphasis on control, controlling what my friendships look like, what my relationship with my husband, not in a bad way where I'm like controlling him, but like I always wanted things to happen a certain way. Or, fold, let's just put this as an example, folding the clothes, okay, doing the laundry. I have a specific way that I fold the kids' clothes so that they fit into their like drawers. And my husband, for the life of him, just can't fold the same as me so that it fits in the drawers. And I used to just get so frustrated. I'm like, just like don't, it got to the point where I'm like, just don't fold it, I'll fold it. But at the same time, you want your partner to help you with all these things. And then it's like, let's just let go of control. Let it go. Let your husband fold it the way he folds it, and we'll just stuff it into the drawer as is. Does it really matter? No. Who cares? The kids don't care. They just pull clothes out anyway and then stuff it back in the drawer. So even if you have it all neat and tidy, the drawer becomes untidy anyway. And you're putting all this pressure on things having to look a certain way. It just makes no friggin' sense. That's just a daily example, but I'm sure you can probably apply it to everything in your life, relationships, what you do at work, trying to control, how your workmates think of you. Like when you are putting up a persona, you are putting control because you are trying to control how people see you instead of actually just going, you know what, this is just me, take it or leave it. So that's another thing that I've learned because I had a mask on all this time when I was working to be, this person of perfection, always smiling, always happy khaki because, God forbid if anyone knows that I'm dying inside. So that is another form of control, even if you don't think it is, how you control people's perception of you instead of just going, it doesn't really matter if they see me a certain way. You can never control other people's reactions to you. There's going to be people that like you, there's people that's not going to like you, and that's okay. Some of the people that don't like you might go, thank goodness they don't like me anyway, right? So it's, yeah, letting go of that control. And how do you let go of that control? It is not easy. I still struggle with the control piece because that's just innately programmed within me. Maybe we all have that, but it's awareness, is that constant awareness. Because I would like be saying something or doing something. And I'm like, oh, Kagi, you're trying to control the situation. Stop it. And then you go, okay, okay, breathe, breathe, be still. What is it? What's going on in your head that you feel like you need to control? That's the other thing that I think we really need to remember is there's a reason why you want to control situations. And usually is because you don't feel like you're good enough. Um, so you want to control it so that you do feel good enough, that you're better than someone, or things need to be done a certain way so that people can see you as someone that's better. It's always comes down to that. So it's just kind of like, you know what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We've, got this life, and how tiring is it to constantly having to worry about controlling everything? It's very tiring. I was very tired having to put up the front all the time. And yeah, it's I think that's why I have coming through.
That is really
So
well
just
said. Better
yeah.
than Gabby Bernstein, if I could say. Okay,
Oh, thank you.
Eckhart Tolle said once, ego implies unawareness. Awareness and ego cannot coexist in the same space. I'll add that. It's like taking a hot shower. You can't be unhappy taking a hot shower at the same time. And that was Wayne Dyer. Okay, I've got a passage to read to you, but I'm going to put up an angel first. Here's a Pacific princess, light waves of energy and water, soft spoken professor, my guardian angel, but probably 80,000 other people's guardian angel. Her name's Min, like Lakota Sioux word for water, Min, like Minnesota. And Awal is a Polynesian morning glory, sweet potatoes in the ground, morning glory flowers up top, and Ua and La in Hawaiian, rain and sun. So her name's Water Rainbow or Water Morning Glory. Just call her Min. Catch something beautiful to complement what you just talked about. Hear how the heart already is plugged in and connected to everything. You don't have to worry about control, but hear it her way. And breathe, 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 breathe. Catch the Pacific Ocean somehow. She'll bring you something very special. And then what are you getting that you can share versus the private portion for you?
Mm, I think self-love kept coming up.
Nice.
The self-love, yeah, which ties in beautifully with control.
And if you want to close your eyes, I'm assuming, who are your two of your three favorites here? I can't remember who we did, but I think it was three so far. Charlotte, Joy, and Min. Do you want Joy and Min? Or do you want Charlotte
Yeah.
and Joy?
Um,
Or
Joy
the
and Min.
Joy and Min. Got it. So if you put one hand up like this to each and feel the flow, and breathe, 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 breathe. Get it that way. But when you're ready, switch to like each hand is going out 90 degrees to the side so they can each take your hand at a human level. Pretend your sister walked in the room and was going to
Okay.
say hi and hold your hand. So like you're getting a 50 euro and each, yeah, perfect. Feel them each hold your hand. You'll freak out on this, but that's okay. Breathe through your mouth so you can get electrified, but this is all like positive. So you're not getting electrocuted. You're just getting jammed with lots of light in a gorgeous way. You'll see it on your eyelids. And if you want to start seeing words on your eyelids like a movie screen, a t-shirt, or like a mantra, that'll be a mantra you can share with everybody if it's just a couple of words.
Choose yourself in every moment.
And when you come back, do you mind repeating it when you do come back and then explaining it just a little more the way you do such good explaining?
Mm. Choose yourself in every moment ties in beautifully with self-love and control because it's a constant remembrance, it's that constant awareness that I was talking about before. Everything we do in our lives, we usually do it for someone else, for recognition, for validation. When we choose ourselves, we're doing things for ourselves. I'm not saying that you're selfish, but when you do look after yourself, it's a whole cliche of fill your cup first. It is filling up your cup first so that you can, spill over to others. So you're running on empty and trying to give, and you're half dead. And people don't, when you give like that, people don't actually appreciate it either. They're just pretty much sucking your energy dry. So it's always remembrance of choose yourself at every moment, because when you do that, you'll find that your cup is filled. And when you give, people appreciate it because the energy is different. It's not the, oh, please like me. I'm giving you everything. Please like me. It's the, I'm so full. I'm so like happy. I'm so like radiant. Like I want to share my light with you. And when they receive that, it's like, oh man, like Michael is so amazing. I can just feel his energy. And they appreciate it because when they're around you, it feels good. It doesn't feel like they're expecting some exchange. It's you actually just want to give it, no expectations.
Mm.
Mm.
Well said. Well said. Okay, I'm going to read a passage. It's from a little book called Listening to Angels. Angels wrote it. I saw balls of light as I was typing. If anybody thinks this is me, awesome. I mean, thank you. So cool, but there's no way. Okay, why is being, and this is going to be back to you, but you're going to get a long break for 40 seconds here. Why is being the key to all of us? And you just answered it one way. And that was, by the way, a book title, Choose Yourself, I think you said. Always
Mm.
choose yourself. So keep that in mind if you need to scribble a note down, or that's one of your programs in the future. Okay. Why is being the key to all of this? Being is believing in all. You do not need to be like anyone else. Be you. Smile more, think less. Do not permit others to dictate your well being. Own your own being and life. Love more and allow more. You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason. Again, this is why it's not about words or concepts, which are often just another form of egoic thinking. Always keep releasing so as to not allow walls to be rebuilt, ego. What to release exactly is never that important. Those are mere details. Keep releasing. Ego likes to judge everything and build walls. Ego likes to offer knowledge as a form of false security. Step away from this and return to a peaceful life. Follow your path in life one step at a time. Enjoy it. Let go of perfectionist or defined behaviors such as roles. Embrace the awesome life given to you in each one of us. Just be. Listen to everything, for everything around you is always your instruction. Love is in everything. Open your eyes to find love. There's only one life, not two. Be in the moment. Compassion is within all too. There are just many levels of awareness in man. Everyone can grow. Let go to expand your own awareness level. See how when you let go, you become lighter and free, your energy brightens, and you feel alive. Believe. Trust this is so, and it will be so. This is what faith, religious and non religious, is about. Not knowing in life while letting go and loving. Compassion to others happens only when it is first applied by you to yourself to release your ego and to embrace more openness and love in the now. Find compassion in all that you see, breathe compassion into all you do, believe in all and be loved to all, and know that we angels are here for you always. We are here not just in name, but in action. Use us. Now,
That's
what?
beautiful.
Yeah, did you like it?
Mm.
And talking about your last 3 to 4 years, if you could just add a little extra to it, because you have a lot of moxie, we'll use that word, and you've got something to tell folks. So you're coming from the trenches, you've been there and you've done this. What's your extra bit that you would add to that?
Mm. It's not caring about what other people think of you. I think, especially when people start going into business, whether they're or starting a new job, but more so if you're in the online space like I am, and you start going about your business, you're worried about, how will people see me? What will people think of me? And you put up this persona, like I said before, and you want people to like you, but it doesn't work that way because it's so tiring putting that persona up. So it's just learning that you can't control anything but yourself. So hold yourself at the highest that you can. That is not ego driven. And just go about your day being yourself, being in the moment. and not putting pressure on yourself. Pressure kills everything, comparison kills everything.
Mhm.
You know, if you want to compare, I mean, I started off, I'm like, I want to be Oprah. That is putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You know, even if you want to go, okay, I want to be, try someone that's just maybe a step ahead. You know, if you want to get to a certain stage, and then it's one step at a time, it's always one step at a time. It's never, you know, let's take a leap. And people say, oh, you know, take a leap of faith. But the leap is actually a baby step. That is your leap. It's not going, I'm going to leap and become this millionaire overnight. No, it doesn't happen like that. And yes, there are certain people where it might happen or it looks like it happened, but you didn't know what the amount of work or effort or, you know, skills that they were developing to get to this point where it looked like they leaped overnight. So it's constantly just taking those baby steps, taking action. You know, you hear a lot of people go, oh, you just need to visualize and imagine and meditate and things will come to you. You live and, you know, be in the 5D and all those things. And yeah, love being in the 5D, but we also live on Earth. So we need to be grounded, but connected. And when we're grounded and connected, you're connected to spirit, and they will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, as you have seen from my stories, where when I just sit back, you know, I didn't do anything. Obviously, it's them, it's spirit guiding and doing the things and moving things around, because them doing one thing is probably you doing 1,000 things. So just really just allowing yourself to just surrender and flow, not control, and not put the pressure on. Just be present. When you're present in your everyday moment, there's not going, oh, I'm over here. What happened back there that defines me? Ah, that's probably where I'm getting to. Don't let your past define your present. I think that's, yeah.
We're going to take a couple more steps that's more like playing, and then we're going to tap all your show host skills to close out the show. But first, here's Kuan Yin for you. Cheat and get a quick monologue. Actually, this is a jaguar. I'll put a jaguar up for you and catch something personal. If you want to put your hand out to the side as if you owned a giant dog, you can feel very wiry, short hair, tough. Nothing like the tiger on the wall. That's shampooed and soft and furry. Actually, if you want to put the other hand out and get soft, shampooed, furry, the tiger from India, the Divine Mother rides that tiger, pure action. And if you want to close
Mm,
your eyes, see which one won for your eyelids. You'll get either a jaguar or a tiger, but you can hear the other one cry out in the room in a nice way. And
yes.
get something personal. But what's the message from Jaguar and Tiger about something about something?
Give your time to rest and play.
Beautiful. And I'll put up Big Mary, but it won't be the way if you're from Ireland, you have to have Mary this way, the classic drawing. But I'm going to put up a modern version just so people can see.
Hmm.
And I've learned the hard way. Most people from Ireland are going to insist on that, and that's fine. But I have a really modern black and white photo that, if you'll let her sparkle more in the eyes and even start to smile, we know photographs can't move, but totally they can move. It's the point of the whole show today. And I think what Kaki's been reminding us is don't dwell in limits. And if you want to see rainbow glitter all over the room, in the peripheral, if you resist, if you're breathing, 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 breathing through the mouth, you can see it all over the room. You won't have to vacuum later or write a nasty email saying I had to get a professional cleaner in. It's just pure compassion, light creativity, sparkleness, and have a light weekend. And here's something about love. I mean, she's the one that said, love is everywhere. Open your eyes to find love. What are you hearing from Mary?
Be love.
I love it. Now, by the way, that's an Israeli actress from Coupling, if people remember the British comedy, but we don't need to mention that out loud. It's just Mary, Big Mary. One more for you. Her name's Isabel. She's an angel who's intercom. Same thing with the photo. Let her do her job, but she can also feng shui you. So, like, you're always like, oh, I could never use my hands like Fred in London, Sarah in Chicago, or John, Billy, Bob in Bali. Just can't. My hands just don't function. I don't know. Ask Isabel to activate your hands. You're going to figure this out. What will you ask for? What will you get out of your own way to allow for? Everything's already within. I think that's been one of your themes throughout this whole thing. If I can find her, hold on. Here she is. Okay, so she's Isabel. She's intercom. She's got a second skill. Like if you want to make a private request just to feel more, flow more, she's like a pond that's glass or the ocean once every 90 days when it's like a mirror. No waves, no wind. And let me know when you start seeing the photo start to, those eyes go more sparkly or she starts smiling more. You should feel this one a lot.
Yeah, she's smiling more.
I didn't do it. Get something private for you, but then what is it that she wants us all to remember?
Mm. Mm. She wants us to remember that we're all here for a reason and not to take life too seriously.
Last but not least, I'm going to put my hand up in Texas, but check with Joy that we're cool with this. Only the highest intent, none of my bill paying side or worrying about control or anything else, the finances and all that. Just so, but same thing with your energy, only the highest intent. Feel what you can feel from Perth, Western Australia to Texas. If you don't mind putting your hand up, yep. Feel what you can feel. Breathe through your mouth. Let me know, what are you feeling already on your hand?
Well, I'm tingling right now, so hold on.
And the second half of the exercise is coming up, which is I'll whoosh you rainbow light with my right hand. Blame angels, don't blame Canada, don't blame me, don't blame Perth. But this hand 3 times, low, medium, and high. I'll blow through the microphone. It'll look like I'm blowing off screen, but it'll be a Hawaiian breeze. You might even get a little sea spray right here. Here comes the first rainbow light whoosh, just up and down your back lightly. You'll feel something. It'll hopefully be really fun. Taki, did you get that okay?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Now, the second one, pick a topic at home if you want. And hey, everyone's energy is being filtered. Compassion and love only. It's 2030, and now 20,000 people have hit in 1 minute. This same part of this video, we're not going to feel it in the future. You're doing this on your own. You're just watching a video. Okay, here we go. Second one, rainbow light from a lot of angels. Pick a topic or an area, a quadrant of your life. You could use a little whoosh. Here's the rainbow light. Catch a little Wailea Kanapali Maui on your nose. The third's going to be, how was that?
yeah,
The
that's
third's
good.
going to be go big, go home. You're already home, so let's go big. Let's make sure that neck is completely freed up, which it is, but just ask for total well-being and whooshing. Kundalini Express, all the chakras get lit. And here it goes. Turn up the volume, breathe extra. Here we go. And when you're ready, come back. And how was that?
Thank you. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Good. Okay, now you're on the hot seat, and I'm unfortunately going to have to ask you to tap your show host skills. What's the summary? What's the recap? Where have you taken us today? I missed everything. What's going on? Close out the show for us.
In summary, if you missed the whole show, the most important thing is to choose yourself at every moment, because when we do, miracles happen. Your life just fully goes the way that it's meant to go with no expectations, letting go of control of what your life looks like. And just allow magic and miracles to happen, because that pretty much was me talking the whole time, just showing you the magic and miracles that happen when you let go of control, let go of expectations, and when you start choosing yourself and not putting a face out for validation and giving yourself from empty.
Mm. Spoken like
Hmm.
an inner, fearless, peaceful warrior all the way. Bravo. Kaki Lee out
Thank
of
you.
Perth, Western Australia. You've been a treat, a delight, a joy. I'm just very thankful to have you on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. It's been fun. And I just love your energy. You make me smile every time I see you. And I love your dad jokes.
Thank you very much.